absolutely
last
will.
week they put up 11, and those two put up 30 something. So I'm good with that.
How about the Bucks
Yeah.
suck on defense?
No, they don't.
Not against the run.
You just see what Justin Herbert did. Nick Foles is way better than Herbert.
Man, Herbert's good.
Yeah, Herbert is good.
No, man, not like Foles.
Man, I'm so mad. I missed Herbert by one pick in my dynasty league. Fuck. Got stuck with that stupid Jacob Eason kid.
Yeah.
How about Tanyan? Who else saw that Tanyan game coming?
Aaron Rodgers loves that guy, man.
Man, I went into that game with MVS needing only 5 points, and I'm like, oh, like he's done. Like I was going up against him, sorry. And then he put up like 4.5, and I was just like, how does that even happen with no Lazard, no Adams, and it's Tanyan? Like, thank you.
Yep.
Kept it 4-0.
The worst part about MVS too is that Rodgers will go to bat for him all the time, but at the same time, MVS
He doesn't use them.
He'll just drop like half the balls. Rodgers doesn't want to throw to him because of it. And it's
It's like MVS had 11 targets, but like it was 2 throwaway passes on the left side, 2 throwaway passes on the right side. Hit him in a cross slant with 3 defenders. Okay, it was really 7 targets, 6 targets.
Also, Ernest, did you see that the Jamal Williams receiving yards on Thrive?
No, what was it?
10.5. Hammer the over.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
when I looked at it through 3 games, he only had 24 total. So I was like, kind of makes sense. But
yeah, no,
he had that in like the first 5 plays. I was like, okay, that's cool. Thanks.
Special thanks to Thrive for that as we're live. But appreciate you, Thrive. Now, Paul, I'm going to have you cue just a cleanup. Paul, you're going to cue in that round 1 sponsor at the end of the round, again, like you did last year for My Cigar Life.
Yep.
And then I'll take care of the sponsors after that. Well, let's let everybody appreciate the chit chat, but let's get started. This is Into the Lab, 60th episode, season 2, episode 5, officially VP debate night for America. I know the Canadians on the call really don't care about that, but recording from the beautiful home studio in San Antonio, Texas for our weekly segment. A lot of fantasy football, a lot of NBA, a lot of NFL action coming at you today. I'm your favorite host.
Oh,
no, dude.
yeah.
It's featured on a growing network called Blue Collar Media Group, and you should take a look at their website today. See tons of content to your favorite teams. Visit www.bluecollarmg.com today. Importantly, NFL is here. The show is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy, www.thrivefantasy.com, where you can place your sports bets on your favorite athletes and players across any sport imaginable. Everything was frozen and gone for like 2 minutes in the middle of that. I don't know what was captured and what wasn't, but we're going to roll right through it. Welcome to the team. A big 3-round segment tonight. So excited to be sharing the spotlight with you guys. Let's cue the announcer and let's get you guys announced right in right after this. All right. So our usual bring in is going to be interrupted right in the beginning from Dre's famous intro. So this is the one we talked about last week. So let me go ahead and cue Dre's introduction right now. Can't believe I have to do this for Dre.
Oh, no.
Oh, you know what? Technical difficulty. Let me get the sound to share, unlike last time, right? Let's do that.
Right.
This is wonderful.
Man, this weather is great, but right now, this is Mark Quinn.
This is your boy Isaiah Cassidy, and I want you to listen to the wrestling expert, Dre.
Here's your invitation to the private party.
Here is Dre's introduction.
There's no way you got the private party. That's unreal.
I love it. So Dre's introduction, again, from Bali, Indonesia. Dre Rogers will be in shortly. He says he's running late, but everybody can say you heard his famous introduction. Let's move on from Pittsburgh, co-host of the Puckleheads podcast and co-founder of the Blue Collar Media Group, Twitter handle @SealCurtainPEH, the man with the most interesting name in the world, Just Paul.
What's going on, fellas? Interesting week. We got COVID everywhere, so stay tuned. We're gonna have some waiver wire pickups for you guys.
Yeah, very excited for round one. From Wagner, co-captain of the BCMG Stream Team. Could have caught us earlier today and last night, and college football expert at ddog_1123, Davis Cordova.
Yo, what's up? Go check out my Big 12 power rankings article that just dropped today. You'll see that OSU is number one, two straight weeks, because they are the best team in the Big 12. So catch OSU whooping Baylor's butt next week.
Davis, high and pride with OSU. Davis, how you feeling, buddy? You still sore?
Oh yeah, just got back. 3 straight days of football. So
they call him Davis
I'm
Hot
good.
Hands Cordova over there on OSU's campus. Isn't that right?
It's one-hander.
That's what
mo-
we call you.
He's mossing people left and right. All right. From Regina, co-host of the Frostbite Sports Podcast at Frostbite Pod, Jet Folk.
What's up, boys? How's it going? As you guys know, Stephon Gilmore, probably one of the, if not the best defensive player in the league, got the COVID, and he dapped up our boy Mahomes. Sad times. The league's probably going to die. But we're here. We're going to have fun with it. So let's go.
That's exactly right. The new catalyst for spreading COVID, Stephon Gilmore. I really wish that Steve was on this segment. But from Regina as well, co-host of the Shooter Shoot podcast and the winner of Week 4, who he's proudly exclaimed everywhere as the basketball podcast with the NFL picks at Shooter Shoot Pod, Kenny Cotterell.
Look, man, I'm on a heater. Like, what else is there to say? 5-0 in the article last week, dominating in the ITL league. I can see Andrew's probably got his notebook right below his screen, and he's ready to take some notes.
No, Andrew's got his tissues there. Trust me, from one Cowboy fan to another, I understand. From North Battleford, joining us from the Boomtown podcast at Andrew Kahn. Andrew Kahn.
It was a rough week. It was a rough week. But I do have to say, I got a little bit more faith in the boys because they're playing a terrible team, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, I just want to say a quick update on the podcast. We got a new episode coming out next week. I actually have a brand new guest host who's going to be joining us on the pod from now on, which is pretty awesome. Solomon Campbell from Regina, big MMA guy, big UFC guy. So I'm super excited to have him aboard. We'll be doing stuff through Zoom, so we'll have some new video and audio for you guys pretty much weekly now.
Awesome.
That's awesome stuff, man. Congrats on your growth, and we look forward to hearing that. Let's do our last intro. Though he's not here, we hope he comes in late. My co-host from Boston, the host of Slightly Biased and co-founder of the Blue Collar Media Group. You voted and named him your general, Los Angeles Browns' favorite son. Twitter handle at Reisner_Steven. The General, Steve Reisner, will be on shortly. At least hopefully. Dre and Steve are those ones that like to come in just a little late.
Yeah. My sources say that Steve is spreading COVID right now to the opposite team. That's what my sources say. Him and Belichick had a scam, and a quote unquote evil smirk is what my source said.
Well, I'm excited to hear a lot of the stuff that's coming out, and maybe we'll get a Steve Reisner burner segment. Hopefully we get one.
Yeah.
And we'll see if I get anything. They usually like to send it during the middle of this. So let's get right into it. Let's hear the bell and let's go into round one. All right, that is round one. Some quick updates. The BCMG stream team on twitch.tv/thesportgene and twitch.tv/ddog_1123 do perform weeknights and mostly weekends. Win count is still at 39 on the main stream, but Davis has been racking in those wins on the side. He's going to let you guys know it. Davis, what you got to say?
I will be on tonight right after the pod around 9:30.
While Davis is doing studying of the vice presidential debate, he will also be on COD because it's his civic duty to watch that debate and make sure he knows who he's voting for. But he will be on COD as well. Absolutely. That college kid. All right. So let's start dissecting some of the bigger topics. Kenny, we're going right into your realm. Let's start with the NBA. All right. So read all about it. It's our round one segment. The LA Lakers take a 3-1 lead behind Anthony Davis and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's big fourth quarter. Kenny, how you feeling about the Lakers now up 3-1?
I feel pretty good about it now. I mean, I was kind of concerned after game 3. I mean, that was the best game of Jimmy Butler's career that he played in game 3. He was absolutely fantastic for them. But I think it boils down to no Dragic and Bam, even though he played last night, 15-7, he really didn't look like himself. I think most people assume that the Lakers would win the series if they got production from some of those role players. And just to name some stats for you, game 1 that they won, KCP with 13, Green with 11, Caruso with 10. Game 2, Rondo had 16, KCP with 11, Kuzma 11. And then game 4, you had KCP once again with 15, and you got 9 from Morris and Kuzma. Like, when you're getting that kind of production out of your bench, which was the one big question mark about the Lakers, it's going to be very tough to beat them. They already had the 2 best players in the series. So I wish that we would have seen Bam and Goran, because I think that becomes a 6 or 7 game series. But I mean, with them not at 100% and Goran not at all, it was tough to see him on the sidelines, as upset as he was that he couldn't go. I just think that the Heat are too hobbled right now. So I won't be surprised if they close it out in this next game.
And that was going to be my next question, right? Is it a 5-game closeout? Does anybody not believe it's a 5-game closeout on the panel today? No, it looks pretty set that it's going to be 5 games and done. Would like to see some fight, though. I would like to see a 6-game series. Maybe Jimmy comes out and Bam comes out and we see something happen there. So a lot of the conversation about Eric Spoelstra being one of those unique and top 3 coaches in the East, that's the over-under is top 3. Are we in agreement that Eric Spoelstra is a top 3 coach in the East?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement. You think he's number 1, Kenny?
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
Brad Stevens hasn't done enough. Nick Nurse, while their championship last year was solid, I just don't see him overtaking Spoelstra and what he's done with that Heat team. Even when LeBron left, like, Spoelstra kept that team afloat for years when they had undermanned rosters. And yeah, I truly believe that Spoelstra is the best coach in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, that's pretty. That's a pretty big quote there. What about Doc Rivers joining the East? Any change to the ranking?
No, not at all.
Doc Rivers is underneath Eric Spoelstra.
Wait, is Garnett on the team?
No, the best
Well,
player in
gotta
NBA
wanna-
history,
hey.
according to Steve Reisner, is not on that Philadelphia 76ers team.
What a
He's
shame.
got to close out a 3-1 lead first before he can be top coach in the East.
I guess that's very true. What have you done for me lately? All right, well, that leads to our next topic, which is Doc Rivers to Philadelphia. Do we hate it or do we love it, guys? Doc to Philly. I'll start with you, Jet.
I'm pretty indifferent with it. I didn't really care what direction they went with coaching. I think that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are 2 styles of players that just don't work together. And when you tack on the fact that they have massive contracts for Harris and Horford, I think it's a personnel issue. It's not a coaching issue.
Gotcha. What about you, Andrew? Are you all for Doc to Philly, or are you indifferent as well?
I agree with what Jet just said. I mean, I don't know if Embiid and Simmons can actually coexist as a unit and actually pull off a championship no matter how much they pay them. And then, again, Horford and Harris, it's a lot of money on the books for a couple of old dudes. So, I don't know. Doc Rivers can do stuff. I don't know. He also hasn't proved that he can win major playoff games. So I'm kind of out on that one.
Now, what Doc does bring is a lot of leadership and experience. Players tend to follow. Do you see any players, or would you just pinpoint any players you think would follow Doc to Philly, in your opinion?
From the Clippers or just in general?
Clippers, any other teams you might have influence on?
I don't think they can bring anyone in.
That's true, right?
I
The
mean,
inability to bring anybody in.
Like,
Yeah.
like how can you with their contract situation? They're not dumping Horford, and they'd be stupid to dump Tobias. So
The guy they need most is on the Pelicans now, and they had him before. It's JJ Redick.
friend of the
Yeah.
show, JJ Redick.
Friend
Yeah.
of the show,
No,
JJ.
no,
Redick.
no. The guy
Sorry, I
they need
throw that in there.
is the guy they need is in the finals playing for the Heat.
Jimmy.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
another former Sixer. Well, what
Yep.
about the idea that maybe the OKC Thunder tank and Horford for Paul gets done? Does that change anything?
Okay,
No,
so
thank you.
If they did that.
No, thank you.
Did you say no thank you? Oh, okay. No, didn't fall. Okay. Let's
What's the
switch to it.
plan? Is that like you move Simmons to forward or what?
Yeah, I guess you'd have to. Have to.
Well, maybe I'd change my tune then if that was actually a real thing. I just can't see it. That sounds like fantasy.
Yeah, why not? This is all fantasy. We live in COVID land now.
Hey, Chris Paul to the Knicks.
Chris Paul to the Knicks, coming from the
Oh,
Thunder fan.
don't wish that on him.
You just said no tank
I'm
you.
not.
You can't say that.
Poor guy. Who hurt
You
you?
worked out a lot today, Davis.
Chris Paul is just getting thrown around nowadays. What team wants him?
Hey,
No one,
Ernest,
because he's
if
still
the-
getting paid an insane amount of money.
Who did that?
If
Who
the-
paid him that contract? All right, so let's talk about the team that did it. Houston still looking for a head coach. Who do you all believe should be coaching this team? Tons of rumors of different guys. I'll start with you, Kenny, since you're the resident NBA analyst. What do you think? Which coach should be coaching the Rockets next season?
No one, because they're a sinking ship.
Ouch. Okay, let's get your real take.
Well, where are they going from here?
Up.
Like, what's the direction though? Ernest, you tell me what's the direction of the Houston Rockets now, because it doesn't look like Harden and Westbrook with no center is working.
Well, you have 2 MVPs. You switch them off in rotation, and you go get some bigs, and you can have a solid outing.
But you had a solid big, and then you traded them to Atlanta.
Hey,
well,
you know what?
Shooting big. Thank you, Kenny. Now you got your answer. What coach coaches a team, Kenny? I don't need you to analyze the Rockets. I need you to analyze the Rockets with a coach.
No, you don't want me to analyze the Rockets.
You're just ashamed you don't have 2 MVPs.
As far as coach, I mean, I don't know. As far as guys out there, I like Nate McMillan, and I wish he didn't get canned in Indiana. But I don't know if he's the guy to lead that team. I'll be honest, I haven't given Houston much thought since we trounced them. So
you trounced everybody, Kenny. That's not even an insult. Jet, what do you think?
Couple names come to mind. McMillan, potentially Alvin Gentry. I hear Mike D'Antoni's out there.
He makes guards play extra, I heard.
Let's see. Actually, a name that also comes to mind that I like is maybe Kenny Atkinson. But yeah, they can go a number of different routes. It sort of depends what sort of system they want to run. I'd assume it's probably going to stay small ball. It wouldn't make sense to do much else unless you completely transform your roster. So,
great.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. They have plenty of options.
Paul, I know you've been quiet through most of the NBA segment, so I'm going to pick on you now. So what do you think about the Rockets situation? Is there a coach out there you think fits them, or should their style change, and what coach would fit that?
I think they should go get Boogie Cousins on a 1 year, see what happens deal. And, you know, I agree with them too. I like McMillan a lot. I didn't think he really, got a chance, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. But like Boogie Cousins, go get him 1 year, see what happens, and then go from there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Davis, do you have an opinion on the Rockets, or should I skip you on this part?
No, I got an opinion. Don't be surprised if the Rockets go for like an assistant coach or someone in college, because I mean most of these guys in the NBA already have the same system and it's not working with D'Antoni, so maybe they bring in fresh faces.
Yep, I can see that too. Andrew, you have an opinion on the Houston Rockets?
I agree with the McMillan thing. Paul, I like that take about who do you call it there? I had a brain fart just 2 seconds ago. Anyways, yeah, Boogie with the hoodie. He if you get him on the league minimal deal, I like that as a position there. But I don't know, Westbrook and Harden, the chemistry, I think that they hope for so much. But whoever comes into that situation, like Kenny said, it's a mess. So good luck.
When Harden and Westbrook were at 100% healthy, they were dominant. They were good. They were a very good team. So I don't know why you guys say it didn't work. I mean, Westbrook got hurt and they didn't perform in the playoffs. I mean, that's what happened. I don't know why you guys think the Rockets are going to write off. The 6th seed was probably the floor for the year. So, I mean, it's anywhere but up for me. I like Jeff Van Gundy just because I like Jeff Van Gundy, and I think he's a Houston Rockets culture enthusiast, and you don't want him on the TV anymore. Admit it. You don't want him on the TV anymore. So he would be great.
What's that?
Who
Stan Van Gundy. Get them both there.
You'd probably get both of them there, to be honest. But
Yeah, co-head coaches.
I love Kenny Atkinson. I know fellow Houston enthusiasts don't. They don't like Kenny Atkinson's fit, but I think he brings a culture and a system with him, and I liked what he did in Brooklyn. So that would be my hope. But rumors of Ty Lue and Jason Kidd and tons of other ones coming out, I don't see it. And I know internally John Lucas is the main guy they want internally if they stay internal. So we'll have to see how all that works out. But Houston does have a problem, no head coach. But I mean, they're not the only Houston team looking for more leadership, as we're going to talk next as our featured segment. But I see Dre Rogers walking around Bali has joined us. Dre, how are you doing out there, buddy?
Man, he's muted.
And our first mute of the night. Dre, I appreciate you. Let's talk NFL. But we are going to stay in Houston. Bill O'Brien, our love of nature topic, is now out as from the Houston Texans. Kudos to McNair finally doing it. But from what we've heard, it's all J.J. Watt forming a player boycott. And that was released today. So maybe my J.J. Watt to Pittsburgh rumors aren't gonna hold now that he's making changes in Houston. Let's talk about the boys. Bill O'Brien, will he coach again as a head coach in the NFL?
Oof.
Yeah.
Someone will.
A lot of shocked faces for those listening on the podcast.
Don't be surprised if the Jets do, since they hired Adam Gase.
Yeah, like it's going to be a bad team that does it. Like it'll be the Jets or the Giants or somebody, because they'll be like, oh, they won some division titles, so like his resume is solid. When in reality, he had DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson. So. And
he could be their GM as well.
Where do we think Houston goes from here? Who do they hire? Who's a fit? Do you guys have any early favorites you want to share with the audience?
It's got to be Eric Bieniemy. It's got to be. Give that guy a chance. I mean, you know what I mean? You got Watson there. He obviously knows about young quarterbacks. He has a pretty good system there. He's been learning under Andy Reid. Give Bieniemy a chance.
Agreed.
I think that's resounding. And the fact that Houston is first, it's the only reason he's our main candidate, because I think there's a few teams that might follow suit with an additional loss this week, which I think I'm surprised Dan Quinn Snyder is not has not been fired yet. Joke for last week. But let's talk about who's next. Who's next to fire their head coach? I'm gonna take Adam Gase off the table because I think everybody picks Adam Gase. That guy should be out. Any others out there you feel? I've heard Matt Patricia's name thrown out there, Dan Quinn thrown out there. Any other names out there that you feel or you know are going to be out next?
Mike Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer. Well, that's a big one.
That could be a good one.
I could see that.
Is part of the reason they're not firing their coaches yet because they are tanking for Lawrence?
Could be. Although you have Sam Darnold in New York, you'd think that would be your future, but Steve would definitely argue that's not true.
Well, our favorite quarterback is starting this week, so.
That's right. Joe Flacco getting his start up in New York. Probably going to be a win for the Jets.
Let's go. Steve got a mute.
I see Steve is back. Yeah. Steve, glad to have you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with these headphones. They
late as usual.
Okay, Dre. Really? Dre just got here too. Steve, what color shirt are you wearing? Got to check our bets.
You guys heard my announcement? Okay, so we're going to be delayed. So
no,
anybody's going directly to Regal. There's a Franklin train.
Wait, I want to see if Steve's getting a ticket. What's happening?
The Boston Bandits getting questioned.
Man dragged off a train live.
This is going viral. Oh, he's muted now.
Oh, he's muted.
Uh-oh.
This is the authorities coming up to Boston. We'll come back to you, Steve. Thank you for the encouraging signs there. All right, so we have some undefeated teams here in the NFL. The Packers, Bills, Chiefs, Titans, and Seahawks all share a commonality. They are undefeated. What is the most surprising out of all these teams? Jed, I'll start with you.
Oh, boy. Probably oh man, I gotta think on this one. That's tough. I thought you were gonna go the other route and go which one's gonna stay.
That's next. That's next. Okay. Tell me which one's most surprising though. Which one caught you by surprise for this week? for this
Okay,
year?
I got this one actually. I think the most surprising is Pittsburgh to fly out the gate undefeated, just because I thought there might be some lumps with Roethlisberger coming back off of a serious surgery.
You're
But
dead to Paul now.
Unbelievable.
but
Goes the
but
funding to your show.
There we
but yeah, now that I've seen, here we go. Now that I've seen,
Don't piss off the Godfather, man.
yeah, I get it. God. Now that I've seen what they can do, I'm more of a believer. But heading into the season, if you told me that they'd be undefeated going into week 5, I would have been a little surprised. Yeah.
So Chet's fired.
All right.
Jet is fired apparently. Steve, what about you? What's the most surprising undefeated team?
Wait, Steve seems fired up. Something happened. Look at his face.
What did I do? I'd probably say Buffalo is my biggest surprise. I know it's been an easy schedule for them, but I mean, especially now that the NFL wants to go ahead and forfeit the Titans game for them, that the NFL wants to go ahead and make them 5-0. That's actually surprising to me.
Also, what about you, Kenny? What's the most surprising undefeated team for you?
I'm just going to say Pittsburgh to make Paul mad. No, truthfully, it does have to do with Roethlisberger. I mean, the offense looked terrible last year without him, so it was a rust thing for him. And I mean, he's been fine so far. So,
all right. So, Davis, if you had to pick a team that's going to lose first out of all of these, which one are you not confident in?
The Titans.
Well, they got the most rest.
Also the most depleted.
Yeah, the most depleted.
I would
Aren't they
be
gonna
too,
forfeit their game?
considering they'll have to forfeit their game if they don't field the team and clear these COVID issues. That's an easy win for the Bills this week, but then you have to worry about all your fantasy players, Bills and Titans wise this week. So everybody keep an eye out on that.
I have Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, I'm open to trading. Davis, just send me a trade. Andrew, what about you? How are you feeling about these teams? Which one is the most concerning to you about staying undefeated?
Well, you just said it, the Titans, because I don't think they're playing. I think it's a forfeit. 18 players or some shit I just read today?
Yep.
In
They're
total?
Up to 18.
There's 0% chance they play. So obviously it's a forfeit. So Bills move on undefeatedly. And again, I agree with Steve. If you had told me the Bills would be undefeated, I thought Josh Allen last year was good. I didn't know he was this good. So yeah, I guess we'll go with that. First
and
mute.
last but not least, I got the second mute. Dang it. Last but not least, Dre, what about you? It's got to be the Packers, right? Most concerned team for the undefeateds that are left.
Nah. Actually, it's the biggest surprise, obviously, for me, because, we had a horrible draft and we didn't take any wide receivers, and we don't have wide receivers, and we don't need them. So, we also drafted a high-end tight end, and look at Tunyon. I mean, I guess this entire draft was just to fire up everybody on the entire roster or whatever. But I guess biggest concern are actually the first team that's going to lose. Yeah, unfortunately, is going to be the Titans. They got to go against Bills Mafia, and that's an automatic loss. Steve knows it. That's why he's not wearing orange anymore. So he's starting to embrace the blue, the red and blue.
What does Bills Mafia have to do with me?
Well, I'll tell you what. Out of all of them, I think that the Titans are the most concerned just because they have the COVID issues. But I think second in there is going to be the Steelers, Paul. Unfortunately, don't pull my funding. I think the Steelers make me worry a little bit. So more to come with those, though. I think the Packers, Bills, Chiefs, and Seahawks absolutely look fantastic this year. They're the teams to beat, in my opinion. So they're the upper echelon of the league, other than the Dallas Cowboys offense. But we don't talk about the Dallas Cowboys defense. We just talk about the Dallas Cowboys offense. Well, let's talk about those Dallas Cowboys, right? There's a big problem there. I am getting a message here. It looks like it is the Steve Reisner burner account. And we have our first infiltration on this podcast episode. Let's cue their interruption. And I don't know if it was this segment or not, but let's hear it out.
I am Steve Reisner, and I believe Bill O'Brien will be the greatest asset the New England Patriots pick up this offseason. After Bill Belichick retires, he will be the GM and head coach and co-offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots in 2021. This will allow Cam Newton to go to his full potential.
What? So Bill O'Brien to New England is a hot take. Steve, your burner account is going to put that everywhere. How do you feel about that?
Somebody's going to lay off the drugs and the helium. Definitely lay off the helium.
Weird when that plays, Dre's off the show.
That is weird. Dre did drop off as soon as that burner message came in. That's interesting. No, that is a person of interest number 2 because Butthole was number 1 and Dre is number 2. I don't know what's going to happen here. I am getting a second message, but I'm saying to hold off until I'm told to play it. So more to come from the burner account. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Are we being threatened right now?
Apparently. Just in case it's somebody who funds my show, I'm not going to I'm not going to get away from them. So who knows who it is at this point. Dallas Cowboys have huge problems, though. They lose to the Cleveland Browns. They give up, I think, somebody correct me, I think it was 49 points to the Cleveland Browns, something like that. It was terrible. Hard to watch. Let's talk about it, right? Who is to blame for the Dallas Cowboy problems? Now, let's not go to the Dallas Cowboys first. Let's talk to the non-biased individual. So I'll start with slightly biased, Steve Reisner. Who's to blame in Dallas?
Mainly it's the defense because you just can't get run over like that. But at the same time, 31 unanswered points. It was something like that after the game was tied, like 14-14. That some of that is on the offense. I understand he's putting up all these yards, but you got to be consistent enough that you're staying in these games. I don't know, but it's mostly the defense. But I don't know, if you're a champion, you don't just let your teammates take the blame. But of course, Dallas hasn't been champions in like 30 years. So
there's a little side jab. Paul, what about you? You come from a Steelers bias there. How do you feel about the Cowboys? Who's to blame in Big D?
Honestly, Ernest, I watched the All-22 today, and it's not X's and O's. That was the most embarrassing professional performance film I've ever seen in my life. Those guys should be embarrassed that other teams are going to see that. Because if I was another team's offensive coordinator, I'd be licking my chops this week. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, 0 effort. That reverse, I watched 2 guys jog side by side to each other and then run out of bounds. They ran out of bounds. Like, X's and O's can fix certain things, but if the effort isn't there and the attitude isn't there, it don't matter. And they didn't have it. They did not have it on Sunday.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Paul. It was very hard to watch even as a fan. So trust me, we know what you're talking about. Kenny, I'm going to you next. You're one of the Cowboys residents here. So talk to us a little bit about what you saw and what your thoughts are, and who's to blame in Dallas.
I don't know. I just think it's an overall team thing. Like, Cowboys fans will point to Dak's passing yards, and it's like, oh, it's not Dak's fault. Okay, well, in the second quarter, you were flat, and a lot of those yards you picked up in the fourth quarter when you were trailing by a few scores. Zeke's got fumbleitis. That's a big problem. Defense has some injuries, but, plenty of teams have injuries and don't give up 49 points. I mean, you got to rally the troops. Like, you're giving up 36.5 points per game right now. Like, I get it. Like, it's a new NFL and there's way more offense, but that's inexcusable. I don't know. I'm dejected watching it right now. If I'm being honest, I turned it off after the second quarter. And yeah, I mean, I think it's an overall team effort issue, and guys got to get their heads out of their ass.
Yeah, you're not the only Cowboys fan to turn off that game. Davis also turned off the game. Davis, I know you're still upset about the game, so talk to us a little bit about who you think is to blame in Big D.
It's the Alice Cowboys because there is no D in Dallas. Because the defense is horrible.
Did you spend all week thinking of that?
Absolutely.
No.
That's a fantastic.
How many times did you practice that in your mirror?
About 5 times in the shower 10 minutes ago.
Wait.
So
With Jerry.
yeah.
With Jerry.
Just for you, Steve. Just for you, Steve. But yeah,
Whoa.
I think it's just the defense that is most of the problems, and like Paul said, it's an effort problem. There's just guys like lollygagging around the field, not even 50% effort.
Yeah, I like to make big statements on teams that need to wake up, but I'll save mine for the end. Andrew, go ahead and give us your analysis. I know you're the Cowboys before I go over to Jet.
This week. That's basically the only way to describe it. Mike Nolan should have stayed retired. He is a horrendous defensive play caller. Look back to the last time he was relevant was when he had Ray Lewis. We don't have that caliber of player. We are terrible defensively, as Kenny stated. Zeke picked a real bad time to have fumbleitis, picks up 15 yards, doesn't fall down, decides to sit on the guy, and then gets punched out. And I'm like, here we go again. And then Dak, same thing. He gets strip sacked, and Myles Garrett's a beast. He's done this all year. And again, it's a matchup thing, and you got to be able, as a defensive coordinator, to know your matchups. Tyron Steele is awful, and we all know that. So why in the hell is he on Myles Garrett in that play? So it's just, I think it comes down to a lot of the play calling structure of things. I don't think Mike Nolan's the guy for the job. I really miss Mr. Richard right now. Mr. Richard would be a fantastic back as our defensive coordinator. The other thing that I would like to state out is that, yes, the offense has been good, but again, you're putting your defense in terrible situations if you can't possess the ball on them.
I agree with that completely. They put him in some very bad ways in the past 4 weeks that really makes them look cheated out a little bit more than they should be. Although they aren't good, it's just I don't think they're as bad as the offenses put him in there. Jet, going to you for your analysis. 30-second take.
Yeah, so when it comes to the offense, just to put some numbers to it, they rank dead last in turnover differential. They're averaging almost -2 turnovers per game. They're 31st in time of possession per game, only having the ball for 26 minutes per game. And then on the offensive side of things, they can't seem to establish the run. They're tied for 23rd, and that's at 101.8 yards per game. So all these things mesh together. You add on top the fact that they've had 30 penalties already, accumulating 250 yards in penalties. That's just a massive team issue across the board. I don't know that this is any one side's fault.
Yeah, I agree with all your takes. Let me give you my quick take on the Dallas Cowboys. It's a Mike McCarthy issue. Your culture needs to show that you're winners, and the culture there doesn't show any effort. And you've seen plenty of football documentaries. You've seen plenty of football programs, college and pro, that show you when you have an established winning culture. Plenty of those out there. It's all about effort, and effort comes back to the head coach and how he's going to present that. I know Dre's coming back. I don't want him to hear my take that it's Mike McCarthy, so I'm just going to wrap this one up. But I do think that Mike McCarthy needs to put his foot down in that locker room and really put people in responsibilities. So I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse. Injuries happen in the game. All right. The Philadelphia Eagles have injuries galore, and they pulled out a win against San Francisco. It's a culture thing. You have to make sure your culture is a winning culture. And I'm not going to blame Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones for the personnel they give them, because I think Trevon Diggs is a little underrated for the amount of stats he gets. He just gets
Mike
thrown
McCarthy.
17 times. I knew it was going to come out. But he gets thrown at 17 times a game because the other team has the ball, 65% of the time. So it is a culture issue for me. So Dre, if you missed my take, it was Mike McCarthy. That's who I did go with. So you'd be happy and clapping your hands knowing that I'm understanding that a little bit more. But I'd like to see more Dallas Cowboys as their strength of schedule gets easier the next 4 weeks to see what they look like and what that conversation is like. So let's end this NFL segment with our COVID news. So as we stated earlier, a Las Vegas Raider player has come down with COVID. Tennessee Titans have 2 more COVID cases. The New England Patriots add a COVID case with Stephon Gilmore. It is rapidly climbing. And, I have to ask the question, is COVID going to ruin this NFL season? Would you guys give that a thumbs up or thumbs down? Again, a thumbs up from Andrew, thumbs down from
yes,
Jet.
but it's mostly the NFL's own incompetence that's going to ruin it.
Thumbs up from Steven.
They
Thumbs
had
up from
plenty
Paul.
of time.
Yeah, there is plenty of time to fix it. I just don't know what your adjustments are going to be.
They're not going to make any. They don't care. The reason we have more pauses now is because they forced the Patriots to fly across country to Kansas City and play that game on Monday night. You could have pushed it a week. You could have pushed it. You know the incubation period. All scientists know about the incubation period. What do you think? Because you play football, you know more than the goddamn CDC?
I mean, it only took Trump 3 days.
Fact.
No,
but
nobody else buying that. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Isn't the rules, or isn't it something stated this year that they extended the season by 4 additional weeks just for this sole purpose? So
yes.
I'm with Steve with this. How come you? And I agree fully. I don't think New England should have played that game at all, especially flying across. But how do they not give 2 weeks break right now with all of the cases that are rising and be like, "Hey, we got to extend the season. Let's just pause for a second."
The rule is, though, the NFL protocol is that if they have multiple cases 3 to 4 days in a row, then the game will be moved to the following week, and they stopped getting new cases by Wednesday. So this Stephon Gilmore came out after the game, although he did get a false positive, which they did a retest and let him play until that retest results came back, which doesn't make sense to me.
But see, but here's the thing: is that we didn't have a Patriots player test positive until Saturday, and then you had a Chiefs player test positive the same day. You can't play that game on Monday. That's stupid.
Yeah, I guess I would have to agree with that.
Stupidity.
I was just reading the protocol before we talked about it.
I'm not just saying that like because I didn't want to watch Chiefs. I actually never want to watch Brian Hoyer play a single snap of football ever again. But they shouldn't have played that game.
No.
Now, I am getting another message from your burner account, though, Steve. So give me one moment because this is breaking news here. Give me a second. Let's see what they have to say.
I am Steve Reisner. I believe the Patriots are getting coronavirus on purpose so that they have the antibodies for when the playoffs come around, so that they'll be the only team and they will be forced to have the Super Bowl given to them. This is all Bill Belichick and Roger Mandell's plan.
All right. So the burner account says it is COVID gate from the Patriots. Open up the new gate there, Steve. What do you have to say about that? This is COVID gate. This is all Patriots.
Yeah, I already heard this one, and what I have to say to that is whoever sells you people your acid, I need the largest supply of it possible. I need to try this stuff.
I mean, it's a valid strategy, though. Only Bill Belichick would come up with that strategy. Give everybody COVID on his team so that he's immune come playoff time, and then launched all the COVID across all the teams in the playoffs. I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Paul, what do you think about that?
Oh, I mean, I've already on record. Like, that's why they took 2 planes. Bill flew one over, got the virus, came back, let it loose, and that's what happened. But no, for all seriousness, if the NFL makes the Titans forfeit this week, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. Just so you know.
Yep, I agree with that. Rescheduled the game. Dre, I'm going to let you wrap us up on this COVID segment. We got our third mute. I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
I can't stop laughing, man. But yeah, it's genius. Only Bill Belichick will think of something like that. So it makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's why Steve, was serious in his answer. He probably already knew about it. It's the Patriots fan base. They expect these things to happen. It's normal. It's normal to them. It's a shock to us because obviously our teams don't think of these incredible, great ideas to win championships. But hey, it's the Patriots way, right?
They're playing chess while we're all playing checkers.
Dre, you're really gonna lay off the drugs, man.
It's a great way to round up our final segment, which is the waiver wire pickup of the week. Everybody was asked to have a waiver wire pickup ready for today's show. Who are you encouraging the masses to pick up on this waiver week where COVID is running, where injuries are galore right now? And so I'm going to start across my screen, no particular order. Jet, who is your waiver wire pickup of the week?
Hottest pickup seems to be wide receiver Tim Patrick from Denver. There's just a lot of opportunity there, and they've got the injuries to support his chance. So I would suspect that he should see the ball a decent amount, and if he can make work and make use of it, he should have an all right week.
And no Stephon Gilmore. So no Shadow.
Exactly.
Davis.
Come back to me. I forgot.
All right. Kenny.
Justin Herbert, if he's available. He looks pretty good at QB. He's probably going to outperform some vets this week, I would assume, against the Saints. I would assume they're trailing, so his stats are going to be higher. Keep an eye, if Michael Thomas isn't a go-to, Traquan Smith, pick him up.
Yeah, I have Justin Herbert ranked right underneath Nick Foles. Good pick there. Just Paul.
Josh Jackson out in San Diego. All available, only taking in 9% of leagues.
Los Angeles?
Or, yeah.
Is it Justin Jackson?
Justin, yeah.
Just
9% of leagues, and he's gonna get at least 50% of the carries.
Josh is on the LA Browns.
Yeah, LA Browns.
Josh Jackson with the San Diego Browns, dude.
I got LA Browns. Yep.
They moved this year. All right, Justin Jackson. I think that's the guy to own as well in Los Angeles. Andrew, who's your waiver pickup of the week?
I like Keelan Cole from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Seems Gardner Minshew and him have a really good connection. He's been averaging at least 10 a game if you need a good flex guy. So that'd be my route. And plus they're playing Houston, so there you go.
Yep, I don't think Houston makes a big old statement after the firing. Davis, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Who's your waiver wire pickup of the week?
I got two.
Got two.
Okay, pick up Teddy Bridgewater. He doesn't lose. Well, he doesn't play bad. Okay, let me restate that. He doesn't play bad. He got me more points than Josh Allen last week, so that's a
Plays
plus.
football real good.
Yeah. What?
He plays football real good.
And then my second pickup is if you need a kicker, get Rodrigo Blankenship.
Oh my gosh, really? I do admit I did pick up Rodrigo Blankenship in 3 leagues, and he did give me a couple of clutch wins. So I will back you up on Davis. I'll back you up on that one. Steve, waiver wire pickup of the week.
Oh, another mute. Let's go.
There's a fourth. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh,
and Mr. Josh Elliott's coming into the fold too. Dre, give me your waiver wire pickup of the week.
I've got 2 of them as well. First one is probably Devontae Freeman. I know a lot of people hesitated on him because the Giants suck, but they're playing one of the easiest defenses this week, so he's probably going to have a good game.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad I'm looking at Kenny because
it's the truth, though. It's the truth.
100%.
And then the second one, I can't believe I'm going to say this, especially after we talked about the coronavirus, Coronagate. I think it's Damian Harris. I mean, obviously, the Patriots backfield is always a hard thing to trust because they've got so many people down there. But, you know, he had a 100-yard game last week, so I think he's going to replicate that this week if they play their game. Yeah.
Yep, I am with you on that, Dre. I completely agree. I picked up Damian Harris last week just because nobody was thinking about it, and then all of a sudden he came off IR. It looked like a genius. I'll go ahead and end the segment here with mine. Keyshawn Vaughn with LaShawn McCoy going out, being the receiving back out of Tampa Bay, going against Chicago on a short week. And you know Tom Brady loves his backs, so I expect with no wide receiver play except for I think Scotty Miller and Mike Evans out there healthy. So expect a lot of receiving backs to be catching, and Gronk has been nowhere to be found. So Keyshawn Vaughn, that is going to be a hot commodity this week. All right. That is going to wrap up our round one, but just Paul, tell us who this was brought to you by.
The first round was brought to you by mybestcigarlife.com. You can check out everything. They got the latest accessories, humidors, premium cigars. Use the code MyBestCigarLife, all caps. They'll get $10 off your first order. liveinmybestcigarlife.com.
That's wonderful. They do have a new product out. If you don't want that cigar smell to stick on your shirt, they have a brand new product that you can spray on you and it gets rid of that smell. Go check them out today. Let's go to round 2. Josh Elliott, Emilio Estevez himself, is now on your screen. We're going to go right into our primetime picks for round 2 right after this commercial break.
Mighty Duck Man. It's the Mighty Duck Man.
All right, round 2 is our primetime picks, and that's the bell. We're going to go over the primetime games for the week, and you already know it. Dallas is one of them. All right, let's start with Thursday Night Football. Tampa Bay, 3.5-point favorites going up against your Chicago Bears, the Bears. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers missing LaShawn McCoy, Chris Godwin, and their 4th-string wideout. Don't remember the name. While the Chicago Bears are without Tariq Cohen. They are playing with backup Nick Foles and a healthy defense. Let's break down this game. I'm going to start this off with the champ, Kenny Cotterill. Who do you have in this game and why?
Tampa, because Chicago put up 11 points last week, and they do not look very good. Take Tampa, for sure.
So Kenny is taking Tampa with the points. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. And Emilio Estevez himself, Josh Elliott. How you feeling, Josh?
I feel great today. Yeah, it's been a great day. But to the Chicago Tampa Bay game, you couldn't pay me to fucking bet on the Bears. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay 100%. All right?
Going straight up Tampa all the way around. Dre, you popped up. You look like you're ready to talk. Who do you have in this game?
This is an easy pick. We're going with Steve's team. This is the game that Ernest realizes that Nick Foles is also not the option on this team. So, easy, Buccaneers.
Big Beep Nick will be doing great things. We'll talk about that in just a second. Andrew, talk to us. Who do you have?
Tampa, they cover, I think, after watching. Here's a question for the Bears fans. Okay, so you guys are so eager to bench Trubisky after he has a horrible outing, but you let Nick Foles play 4 quarters of absolute dog shit football, and no one says anything. Put Trubisky back in.
Ooh, that's a bold statement there. I'm not sure about that. Nick Foles is clutch, though. You can ask the Philadelphia Eagle fans out there.
His 120-yard game was on point.
Just wait. It's brewing, guys. It's brewing. Davis.
Here's the game plan that Matt Nagy should incorporate. Start Trubisky for the first half, then bring in Foles for the second half. That's how you win football games.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe the Eagles do the same thing, start Wentz and end with Hurts. So I guess you're taking Tampa Bay, Davis?
Yeah, so until that happens, the Bears will lose. So give me Tampa Bay to cover.
All right, Tampa Bay to cover there. Paul, you're up next.
Give me the Bucks. Even though they're banged up, I mean they are really banged up, boys. I mean they lost OJ Howard for the year. The Godwin's out again. They only really have Keyshawn Vaughn. I mean that's really their only back. That Fournette's doubtful. So, but Brady seems like he's starting to get it clicking. But even Scotty Miller's banged up. But I'm going to take them just because I think that the Bucks are sending the Bears are going on the slide. No, give me the Bucks to cover.
Jet, going to you.
Well, the third down conversion rate of the Chicago Bears is second last in the league. So you're just giving Tampa Bay more opportunities with the ball. You don't want to do that when you're against Brady. So I'm taking the Bucks here to cover.
Hey, Ernest, bold prediction. Gronk gets in the end zone this week.
Oh.
And go pick up the Buccaneers defense if it's still out there.
That is true. The Bucs defense will be hot. I'm taking Tampa Bay to win and cover this game as well. But Tampa Bay fans and bettors, if you are taking Tampa Bay, because that's a clean sweep for our team, just want to put you, don't worry, guys. Tampa Bay tends to be a second half team, and Chicago defense and special teams may get a touchdown in that first half. Do not worry. Mistakes will be made on a short week for Tampa Bay. Mistakes will be made in that first half, but Tom Brady, put your trust in Tom. That's a second half team there. I do think that if this game is going to be won, Nick Foles has one of those games that he's on it. And the Bears defense is going to look stout because that Tampa Bay offense is banged up. Just want to put it out there. If Chicago pulls that upset, that's why. There's no other reason why other than that. Yeah, Dre, you have one last message on this game.
I have a question. Paul said that the only running back available is Keyshawn Vaughn. So does that mean Ronald Jones is out?
Oh no.
Oh, he's fine.
No,
No,
Keyshawn's
he's
just more
playing.
talented.
Yeah, no, he's playing, Dre. That's my fault.
No, good call out, Dre. All right, let's go on to our noon game. It is Las Vegas visiting Kansas City. Kansas City 13-point favorites as of 5 o'clock today. So the reason we picked this game is because this is always a highly contested game between these two rivals. I'm going to start with Davis on this one. Do you have the Chiefs covering that large spread?
I couldn't find the spread. I thought they would maybe cancel this game since they're a practice squad who've been getting COVID. But yeah, I think the Chiefs cover. What's the cover at?
13.
13. Actually, never mind. I'll take the Raiders to cover. Jacobs will have a big game.
Okay, so Chiefs to win, but not cover. Is that correct?
Yeah. Expect this to be like a one score game.
Perfect. Paul, what about you?
I feel the same way. I think the Chiefs have major problems in the red zone. I mean, you've seen what they had to do against the Patriots. I mean, it was gimmick. Sooner or later, gimmicks run out. They can't just turn around and hand it to Zeller. I mean, he's already proved he cannot pound it in. So, and Reed seems to be wanting to stick with the run more and, limit Mahomes, which, I'm fine with that. The rest of the league is fine with that. So, I think the Raiders just hang around in a rivalry game and the Chiefs end up winning by like 10.
All right, so you have the Chiefs winning and not covering as well. Jet, I'm going over to you on this game. Do you feel the same way?
I'm going to take the Chiefs to win and cover. And my reason being is because through the entire season, the Raiders only have 4 sacks. The Chiefs O-line have only allowed 3 sacks. Pat Mahomes is going to have all day to sling the rock, and I don't think he's going to have any problem picking apart the Raiders.
That is a good point as well. A fascinating stat that I was just looking up when Paul said that, Travis Kelce ranks 14th among tight ends being targeted in the red zone. That's kind of low for a big-bodied tight end. Might be something in the future to watch out for. Josh, going to you next.
This is a fucking scary spread, boys. I don't like it. But watching last game from the Raiders, ball security was horrible. They fumbled, I don't know how many times. So you give Mahomes that, 3 more chances to throw the rock. I think they're going to cover, but just barely.
All right, so taking them to win and cover. Let me go to you, Andrew. You're on my screen.
Is Waller the person that was diagnosed with COVID on the Raiders team? Just curious, because that would explain a lot.
No,
he was fine.
I think the Chiefs cover. I think it's 13. I think they win by 2 scores. It's a 2-touchdown game. Tyreek Hill is going to have a huge game. Like you said, the Travis Kelce stat scares me a little bit in the red zone, and I agree with Paul. They've had super big troubles getting in there. I'm surprised they don't use Williams, who's a little bit more bigger of a back to punch things in. And I don't know why they keep going to Hilaire. It makes no sense to me. But it worked for the Chiefs all last year to put Williams back there. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think it's covered.
Yeah, that is certain. But I did hear that Andy Reid picked up Clyde Edwards-Helaire in his fantasy team, so that would explain a lot. Kenny, what about you?
Man, sometimes I think I'm really Canadian, and then I hear Josh talk. So last year when these two teams met, Kansas City outscored them 68-19 in those 2 games. They were 2 blowouts. I don't think it's going to happen this year because I think the Raiders offense is a lot better this year. So Kansas City is going to win, but it's only going to be by a touchdown.
All right. So Kansas City, but not covering. Dre, you're still on there. I'll give you my pick though, Dre, before you wrap this one up for us. I'm taking Kansas City and the spread. I do think Kansas City continues its dominance into this season. I think the defense is one of the healthiest defenses in the league. So I'm going to take Kansas City. Drake, go ahead and wrap this one up for us.
After I got my pick right last week of the Chiefs destroying the Patriots, yep, I am taking the Chiefs. I am taking the Chiefs again. I think the Raiders are still without Ruggs and
they are.
Yeah, Edwards, I think, is the other guy. I don't know.
He is questionable, but he probably will play.
Well, they're both of their wideouts are out, and so I think they got to rely on Jacobs and their tight end. But I don't think that's enough. So
Jason Witten.
I'm taking the Chiefs to roll them out again, maybe by 14 or something. So.
Jason Witten.
All right, and then Dre was referring to Darren Waller, not Jason Witten. I was from the reaction I got. I understand now. All right, so let's go to America's Game of the Week, which is the New York Giants visiting the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys 9.5-point favorites for this game. I didn't call it Game of the Week. Fox did, so you can blame them for America's Game of the Week. That's not my prediction.
It's on CBS.
I'll go ahead and start this one off by talking about those disappointing Cowboys. No defense to take on the New York Giants and their lack of experience all around the football. Dalton Schultz was banged up, but he has been listed as healthy and will play this week. And there are currently no defensive players being brought back for the Dallas Cowboys or offensive linemen, which is scary. Giants will have Devontae Freeman take the bulk of carries this week, while Daniel Jones will try to find himself again. I already told everybody before this started, I am taking the Cowboys, and I said whatever the spread was going to be, I take it double. So I will take the Cowboys minus 19 for this game, and I will book it because it'll be a 38-17 game. And you can come back on here and tweet at me all you want. When it's all said and done, it'll be a 21-point win for those Dallas Cowboys with a statement divisional game. Dre, who do you have in this Dallas-New York Giants matchup?
Nope.
Dead. All right, going over to Paul. Paul, who do you have in this game?
I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh Zoo and watch two monkeys throw shit each other instead of watching this game. And Cowboy fans, don't fool yourself. Nothing changes this fucking week because
we're not. Only Ernest did.
Okay.
I'm all in.
Okay. Nothing changes because you beat the dog shit out of the Giants. Okay. I will take the Cowboys and the cover because the Giants are just terrible.
That's a fantastic pick, Paul. I'm going to go over to you, Josh.
Well, I'm hoping Mark puts a monkey shit fight in the video.
He will. He absolutely will.
I agree with you there, Paul. I have no interest in watching this game. But I think Dallas has to get going. Like they gotta, they need a win here. I think they're gonna cover, and it's gonna be big too. I'm with Ernest on this one.
My man. He's with me. He's taking a minus 19 also. Kenny.
Well, no. Well, let's talk about it, right? Jesus Christ.
Our defense is still terrible. We're still going to find a way to give up like 30 points. So I don't see Dallas scoring like 50. So this is not the game of the week. It should be Indy and Cleveland because that's going to be a fun game to watch. And that will be the one that I'm watching during that time slot. So Dallas is going to win this game, but it's probably going to be by a touchdown. It's going to be like 35-28 or something.
So you're picking Dallas not to cover in this game. Did I hear you right there, Kenny?
No, they're not covering. That defense is so bad.
You ever heard of that saying when an unstoppable moving object meets an immovable object? How's that go? Unstoppable force meets an immovable object or something like that, right? Yeah. This is like the opposite. Right, Dallas Cowboys defense and the Giants offensive line, they just both are terrible. So there's not going to be any wash there. Something's just going to crack. All right, Davis, who do you have in this game?
This is the annual Danny Dimes 5-touchdown game. What he's going to have.
Stop thinking Danny Dimes is going to happen. It's not happening.
It's not catching on.
It's not.
Are you picking the Giants to win this game, Davis?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure because it sounded like we were moving to a Giants pick.
Where the fuck are we going with this here then, Davis?
Danny Dimes.
The annual Danny Dimes 5-touchdown.
Oh, so we win 38-35. Gotcha.
No, it's like 50-35. Okay.
So you still think they're going to cover with Danny Dimes? What in the world just happened?
Yeah,
we just went full
if we
circle.
put up 50 points, I'll be watching this game.
Yes, absolutely.
Is the Giants defense even good?
No, the Giants defense is terrible. I'm with you, Davis. I would like to see a 50-pointer on there. I mean, we gave one up already. Andrew.
My fantasy team would like to see a 50-point game from the Dallas Cowboys.
Me too.
But here, this is scary. Think if Saquon Barkley was actually still with the New York Giants, this game would be completely different because that defense couldn't stop a fart if it seeked out. It's so bad. Sure. And Devontae Freeman might actually put up a good waiver wire pick like you guys talked about. He might put up 150 yards against his defense. It's so bad. The Cowboys will win. They will win by 7. It's not a fucking 5-touchdown performance from Danny Dimes. Get that out of your head. That is not happening. But I think that the Cowboys also have 2 factors in this. I think Zeke's got to prove that he's over this whole fumble issue.
Agreed.
Plus, you get a chance to beat your former head coach.
Yeah, it's definitely a grudge game. Fuck that guy. All right, I'm going to go over to Jet. Jet, how are you feeling about this game?
Well, first and foremost, I want to clear some misnomers here. The pass defense of the New York Giants is ranked 6th, and their run defense is ranked 10th. Now, if you look at their offense, their pass offense is 29th. Their run offense is 31st.
There's the immovable thing.
You can directly put that on the O-line because they are like dead last in pretty much everything. So it's just a matter of Danny Dimes has 0 time. His stud running back is dead. It is what it is. Cowboys are going to cover strictly because they can score way more points than the Giants can. And unfortunately, that Giants defense just suffers under the pain of having that kind of offense on the other side of the ball for them.
And they did hold the Rams to 17. So they are a decent D.
The Rams. Come on now. Can't compare the Rams to the Cowboys offense. Now,
Yes.
Jet. Yeah, that was the defense's fault. Jet, tell me right now, who are you picking and are they covering?
Cowboys to cover. Like I said, though, it's just because they're going to way outscore the Giants offense. I really don't think it has anything to do with the Giants defense.
And by the way, Gallup caught that pass. There was no penalty. Dre, how are you feeling about this game? Round us up on this one.
First off, I'm going to make this our melancholic moment of the night where Miles should have been here to say that Devontae Freeman would almost equally match what Barkley's production would have been in this game because he's such a great Falcons running back, and we're forgetting that he's now healthy and blah, 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 blah. So there you go, Miles. I did this for you. But yes.
Pick a win.
So who's winning, Dre?
Have you said anything of value yet?
Who you got?
Dre, I can't hear you, Dre.
You're dead. You're dead.
Dre,
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Who's your pick? Hurry.
Oh, I was saying that it was our melancholic moment of the night because I was going to talk about Devontae Freeman matching Barkley.
No, we heard all that. We heard all that. Who's the winner of the week?
Let me clear my throat. Snoozer of the week.
That's the snoozer of the week. Yes.
I don't care if Cowboys win, but they cover.
Cowboys win, and I think they don't cover. So he's taking Dallas to win. We got full circle there on a couple of guys on that panel for this game. Let's just move on. Minnesota visits Seattle on Sunday Night Football. Seattle 7-point favorites. If Vegas knew anything, they know this is a primetime game for Kirk Cousins. I'm taking Seattle and the points because Kirk Cousins won't show up even against a defense that can't defend the pass very well. So I'm taking Seattle with the points. Going over to Andrew first on this one.
Seattle and the points. Easy enough.
Andrew thinks so as well. How about you, Paul?
Well, Kirk Cousins in primetime, right? So give me Russ, let him cook, and give me the points.
I absolutely agree with you on that one. Jet.
Yeah, Seattle is going to kick the shit out of these guys. It's not even Seattle and the points. Let's go.
Davis.
Seattle and the points.
Kenny.
Seattle, but they don't cover.
Wow. Explain that one, Kenny. Who goes off for many?
Last year it was 37-30 between these two teams. Minnesota actually looked really good in that game.
What time was that game?
It was a nighttime game, wasn't it?
Last year's game was a nighttime game?
I think it was.
Well, keep going while I look that up.
But last year was a 7-point game. I don't think Seattle's going to kick the shit out of them. I think they're going to win this game, but I think it's going to be by like 4 points. I've been called stupider on this show, so I take no offense.
No, I don't think you're stupid at all. I think you got good. I think you have good points, valid points. We take them. Dre, what do you feel about this
game? I'll wipe my tears with first place.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're wrong on that. You keep forgetting that the Vikings have Kirk Cousins, so
it was a Monday night game last year, so you weren't wrong, Kenny.
Enough said. Seattle wins.
He scored 30 on Monday night last year, so he wasn't terrible on Monday night against them.
Yeah, but this is Sunday night, where everybody who doesn't watch Monday nights will be watching Sunday night. So, yeah, I'm still gonna take Seattle on the spread. Josh, how are you feeling about this one, bud? Wrap us up.
Everybody disregard what Kenny said. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Give me Seattle on the points. Kirk Cousins sucks balls.
Here you go. I'll be honest with you guys. It's the first time in a long time we've gone through 4 prime times and we sweep across when it comes to money line picks. This is a good ticket if you're watching today. Let's go to our last prime time game, which Dre, this will be your first week where you hit all 5 prime time games, so I'm excited for you. Chargers go up against the Saints. Saints 7.5 point favorites at home against those Justin Herbert led Chargers. I think this is Justin Herbert's team now, too. I don't think Tyrod Taylor comes back and takes over. I think everybody's in agreement with that. Yeah, looks like I'm getting head shakes. Yes, the podcast people appreciate that. Let's go ahead and discuss also Michael Thomas is probably going to play this week, which is the rumors we're getting out of New Orleans. So with Drew Brees getting his weapon back, I'm taking New Orleans not to cover, though. I think this is going to be a game where they're up by a couple of scores, but garbage time happens, and then they will not cover. So taking New Orleans to win this game, but not cover. I'm going to go over to you first, Josh, on this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think there's going to be a ton of points on the board. But I think Herbert's going to shine in this situation. So give me the Chargers to cover. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm taking Chargers to win too.
Wow. There you go, Chargers to win this game. Josh threw down the pencil. Flying V time. Kenny, who do you have in this game?
Second week in a row, I get called a dumbass, and then someone throws out a fucking Chargers pick. The Saints are going to win this game, but it's only by a touchdown. Love you, Josh.
Gotcha. New Orleans not to cover. Davis.
Wait, who are they playing again? I totally blanked out.
Chargers Saints at the Superdome. No fans.
Give me the Saints. Chargers cover.
Paul.
Feel the same. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Michael Thomas to get back into it. And that Chargers defense has been keeping them in ball games too. They've been making plays. So that there's no crowd, in the Superdome. So I'm going to just say Chargers keep it close. Saints win, Chargers cover.
Dre, you with us?
Yeah, Saints win and they cover.
Taking Saints and to cover. Jet.
Mine kind of depends on Michael Thomas. If he does play, I like the Saints to win and cover. If he doesn't play, I like Herbert to keep the game close enough that they would cover. So I'm going to assume that he's either not going to play or he's going to play banged up, and I'm going to say Saints win, Chargers cover.
Perfect. And Andrew, round us up for our primetime picks.
I have yet to meet Josh, but he might be the biggest beauty on this panel, and I need to meet this guy because I'm going with the Chargers as well.
Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go.
The only reason why is because I saw a lot of promise out of Justin Herbert last weekend. Eckler goes out really, really early in the game. He goes toe-to-toe with the GOAT. So, I mean, for a rookie to do something like that, Michael Thomas, like Jet said, if he is playing, is a difference maker, yes, but how healthy is he going to be? I don't know. Breeze looked okay with Sanders, but yeah, I like the Chargers in this game.
Perfect. And that'll wrap up our primetime picks. And of course, our primetime picks, our featured segment is brought to you by Taquito Express, where you can get all you can eat tacos down in beautiful Brownsville, Texas for $7.99. Mention ITL and get 10% off your order of tacos today. COVID friendly.
Canadian boys.
Love
Let's
it.
make a road trip, Canadian guys. Let's go. Forget about COVID. Let's get that $7.99 taco.
That's it, guys. That's it. Save money on your plane ticket. Get down there, save money on your food. All right, round 3, rapid fire picks, final 10-minute round. Coming right at you after this commercial break. All right, guys, we're going to zoom right through this. Let's do it. All right, that's the bell. Round 3 is our rapid fire picks. We only have 11 games this week to call out, so this should go pretty quickly. Let's start with our first game, Cincinnati visiting Baltimore, 13-point favorites, Baltimore. We'll start this off here with Josh.
Just spread or just money line straight up?
Just money line straight up.
Oh God, you're dumb if you pick Cincinnati. So give me Baltimore.
All right, Baltimore. Kenny.
Baltimore.
Paul.
Ravens.
Jet.
Baltimore.
Anybody not picking Baltimore? All right, so we're going to just go ahead and say that's a unanimous Baltimore money line pick. You should not differ. I do think that Baltimore absolutely annihilates this team and spreads away in the second half. Let's go to our next one, which is going to be a little tougher to call. Buffalo visiting Tennessee. Buffalo 1.5-point favorites on the road. Tennessee unbeaten so far. I'll start this one off with Andrew.
Do we have a game?
Let's just say we have a game.
If we do have a game, I'm going to go with Buffalo.
All right, Buffalo for Andrew. Dre.
Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia, short and sweet. I am picking the Bills. Paul.
You know how we do it. Bills.
Davis.
Josh Allen for MVP.
Get out of here with that.
Love the take. Kenny.
Buffalo by forfeit.
Buffalo by forfeit. Jet.
Better not be.
Buffalo.
Josh.
Unfortunately, I have to take Buffalo.
I should have just asked the same question I did on the last one. Let's go to the next one. Arizona on the road going to MetLife against New York Jets. Arizona 7-point favorites. Anybody not picking Arizona?
I bet for the Jets once, never again. Never again. You can't beat a backup QB in Denver. Fat chance. A backup's backup even. Oh my God.
It's Flacco time.
Arizona should be thanking their lucky stars that they got the New York Jets this week after how piss poor they've looked the last two.
Mm-hmm.
Kenyon Drake only 30 yards on the ground last week.
Paul, what were you going to say?
Nothing.
I was going to say, Ernest.
Oh, Andrew.
The last time a football team won at MetLife was the New York Guardians. So let that one sink in.
How fun is that? Anybody remembers? Is that AAF?
The XFL.
Oh, the XFL. It's not even the AAF.
DC Defenders, baby.
Wow.
The team that used to play the
2022.
The LA Browns in the championship game.
That was it.
Yep.
Let's move over to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh testing their talents against the Philadelphia Eagles. Pittsburgh 7-point favorites in this game. I expect mixed answers, but I'll go around the room anyways. Anybody not picking Pittsburgh to win this game?
What? Who are they?
Pittsburgh against Philadelphia.
Where's the game at?
Pittsburgh.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that should be pretty unanimous. 7-point spread. Anybody saying not to pick with the spread on this game?
Eagles cover.
Eagles cover.
Davis and Kenny go Eagles covering.
Close one, Eagles cover.
Okay, so a little bit different against the spread, but Pittsburgh unanimously on the money line. Let's talk Houston football. Houston 6-point favorites at home against Jacksonville. And I'll go around the room for this one. Andrew, who do you have in this game?
It's a tough one, but I think Houston bounces back after getting rid of O'Brien.
So Andrew taking Houston. Dre.
Normally go Minshew Mania, but without Bob, I think the Texans are going to win this game.
That's surprising for me, Dre, to hear you say that. Paul.
I just can't wait for the Romeo Crennel meme with the Arby's hat over his head. That's not going to be my whole weekend. So I am going with the Texans.
All right, Houston picked again. Jet.
I can understand a loss to Pittsburgh and Minnesota in the last 2 weeks for Houston. I can't understand losing to Miami and Cincinnati in back-to-back weeks for the Jags, so I'm going Texans.
Davis.
Texans.
Kenny.
Texans.
Josh.
Counter's gone. Give me the Texans.
Wow. We have a Houston sweep pick. I did not expect that. Honestly, I did not. A lot of sweep picks here. Nobody really gaining ground. Maybe this one. Carolina visiting Atlanta. Atlanta 2-point favorites at home, surprisingly, against those Carolina Panthers who have been playing well. I'll start this one off with Josh. Josh, who do you have in this game?
Watch out for the Atlanta heater here. Give me Atlanta.
And a cover?
Of course.
Wow. Kenny.
Carolina.
Andrew.
Yeah, fuck you, Kelvin Ridley. Thanks for the fantasy points last week. Yeah, we're going with Carolina.
Paul.
I'm rolling with Josh. That spread is way too fishy.
Davis.
I looked at this game and said this is the hardest one to pick this week. I still don't know who I'm picking, but I think I'll go with my fantasy QB. Give me the Panthers.
Hey.
Miles, just kidding. Jet.
The Atlanta Falcons secondary probably couldn't stop a team comprised of blue-collar media group members, so I'm going to take Carolina Panthers.
You underestimate my athleticism.
Me too.
I've seen those hands.
All right. Dre.
I think I'm just gonna say Panthers. Whatever.
Dre's not used to contributing this much. He's tired.
I'm taking Carolina as well. Sorry, Miles. I'm not believing that Atlanta team right now at all.
Listen to the show.
I that's a good point. Miles, comment something someday if you are listening out there. We miss you. All right.
Alive.
All right. Rams and I almost said it. Rams and football team playing. Rams are 7.5-point favorites on the road. Anybody picking Kyle Allen and the Redskins? The football team. Dang it. I was doing so well.
And you failed.
Canceled.
Dang. Anybody picking Kyle Allen and the football team? No,
Absolutely
that is
not.
a straight Rams sweep pick for us. Anybody taking the Rams and the spread? Or let me rephrase it. Anybody not taking the Rams and the spread? 7.5 points.
Where's the game at?
Washington. Washington. I can say that.
I can say that.
I think they keep it close. And by close, I mean 7.
That's another fishy spread. I don't like it.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody picks the Rams. Watch out with that spread, people. If that goes down to 6.5, I'd take it. Let's go ahead and move over to San Francisco. This one was a head scratcher for me of the week. Miami going to San Francisco. San Francisco 9-point favorites at home. Now, if Jimmy G is playing in this game, as he's been reported limited practice, I'll take a. Let's just throw it out there. Kenny, who do you have in this game?
San Fran if Garoppolo plays.
And if he doesn't?
Still San Fran, but Miami covers.
Okay. Davis, who do you have in this game?
San Fran.
All right, Dre.
Raheem Mostert's back, by the way.
Oh, that's the case. And
Okay. I feel better.
And I believe this is a game that we're going to get to see a little bit of Tua, maybe fourth quarter.
Ooh, Tua sighting. Maybe. Paul.
San Francisco beats the dog shit out of them.
Oh, okay. Paul and I were a little more divided on this one.
Andrew.
Yeah, I think San Francisco takes it with Mostert back, but like if Nick Mullins throws another interception like he did in that last game, I'm assuming Garoppolo plays, but if Mullins throws a pick like he did against Philly there, yikes, Miami might run away.
I'm taking San Fran as well. Jet.
San Fran, and I think if Garoppolo doesn't play, it's probably going to be Beathard anyways, so I'm not too concerned either way.
All right.
Beatard.
Denver visits New England. 1.5 point
I'll
favorites.
also take San Fran, by the way.
Oh, Josh, you got San Fran. I already marked San Fran for you, so you're good. All right.
You got the bucket hat.
New England at home against Denver. New England 1.5 point favorites. This is a tough one too with COVID and injuries. So let me go ahead and start this one off with Josh.
New England to win.
New England to win. Kenny.
Yeah, New England.
Andrew.
Is Cam playing?
No.
Nah, still New England.
Jet.
I'm taking Denver to lose. Pretty bad. And Brian Hoyer is going to look like Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, boy.
I thought Stidham probably going to start, no?
Well, whatever. Whoever they plug in there.
Whoever it is.
Player for MVP?
Dre.
Places Cam, maybe?
Here goes a little Miles love. Drew Lock is practiced today, so I'm gonna say Broncos. He's gonna play 3 touchdown passes to Jared Judy and
Alda Judy?
Judy and Broncos win.
Broncos win. Multi-touchdown game for the returning from ailment Drew Lock. Okay, Paul.
New England, they're battle tested. They'll gut this one out at home. They'll figure out a way to win.
Davis.
This is a tough pick, knowing that Drew Lock may be playing, and whoever gets COVID on the Patriots, like if Stephon Gilmore had it and he was playing on the football field Monday night, then who knows who else has it for the Patriots. So for right now, I'm taking the Patriots, but if things change, then I'd take the Broncos. If late Saturday and stuff has changed, then take the Broncos.
All right, so Davis is saying take the Patriots right now on a ticket, but keep a lookout for those changes on rosters. That can mean a lot. I'm taking New England to win this game, obviously to cover, but that is great advice, Davis, because things change accordingly. Weather reports, look at weather reports, other variables. Last pick and last part of this episode, Indianapolis visiting Cleveland. I saved this game for last because I figured there's going to be some mixed reports on this one. I think it's going to be a great game. Let me go ahead and start off with Jet. That's the resident Colt. So let's hear it.
Well, we got the number 4 run defense. We got the number 1 pass defense. I don't fear the Cleveland Browns whatsoever. I'll take the Colts.
Jet is going Indy. Josh.
Yeah, if you're picking Cleveland, that's the biggest trap ever. Oh, they fucking put up 49 points. Give me Indy and the Colts. They're going to win by a ton.
Against a really good defense, too. Andrew.
Yeah, Josh, we were friends. Going Browns.
Doesn't hurt my feelings, man. Sorry.
Josh, come on now. That was hurtful, man. Come on.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Andrew.
Well, Browns, you're going to face a defense that has a fucking pulse on the other side this week. And that Colts defense is no joke. And they will be able to neutralize Myles Garrett with the run game. And I'm looking forward to this game immensely. Give me the Colts.
All right, Indy for Paul. I am taking the Indianapolis Colts as well, although it's in Cleveland. That would change a little bit if there were a lot of fans in the stands to make a difference. A dog pound makes a difference, I think. I'm still taking Indy to win this game. Davis.
Give me Indianapolis to win this. I think Baker, those 2 picks, along with Phillip Rivers, 3 picks. So.
Miles fantasy MVP quarterback Baker Mayfield projected to get 2 interceptions by Davis Cordova. Dre, what about you?
And the game's in Cleveland?
In Cleveland.
Wow. It's probably going to be a high-scoring game. Very. I'm just going to say the Rodrigo kid hits a field goal to win the. There you go.
Hot rod.
Dre takes Indy. Kenny, champion so far of this year. Give us your final pick of week 5.
Oh, you didn't have to kick us while we were down. Like, we were already dead, man.
I know.
It was the worst thing. I'm telling you, that film that I watched today,
it was so bad.
If I was the coach, they would have had to peel me off them dudes. For real.
I thought about the Cleveland upset, and then I saw Andrew pick them, so I'm rolling Indy.
You son of a bitch.
And there goes the final pick of today's episode. So thank you guys for joining us. Dre, tell us who our 3rd round segment was brought to us by.
If you're looking for nitro gloves, 1860 masks, or if you want to ship anything to or from Mexico, hit Porteo Group up. They know their logistics stuff, 21 years of experience, and they are based out of Texas. So there you go. Give them a call.
That's right. The Porteo Group will get your domestic and international shipping done. Trust them with over 21 years of experience. That's the www.porteogroup.com. They will get you set up based out of Houston, Texas. All right. That is our episode today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, those who watch us on the stream and those who listen to us in your cars or at home through the podcast. These picks are done. Lots of sweet picks tonight. You'll be able to see those picks on www.thesportgene.com, and future podcast picks will be coming to bluecollarmg.com. So keep a lookout for those as to what our podcast goes through. You know what? Like we always do, I'm going to let you guys sound off and tell everybody where they can find you. Jet, we'll start with you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at FrostbitePod or at bluecollarmg.com/frostbite. You can find mine and my partner Harrison's episodes there. We do weekly podcasts, a little bit of hockey, a little bit of basketball, baseball, football, you name it. So stop on by and hear what the Canadian boys have to say.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Josh, tell us where we can't find you physically, but where they can find you online.
Yeah, I can't tell you that, but you can follow me out on Twitter at JoshElliott9. Watch out Friday or Saturday. I have a show called Just a Bit Outside for some gambling picks. We're 9-5-1. So we're kind of been on a little bit of a heater, and the Yankees are getting shit-hauled, so that makes me happy.
That makes me, as an Astros fan, extremely happy. And Dre, we haven't even mentioned the Astros are just kicking ass this postseason. We'll save it for when we're in the ALCS next week. But let me go ahead and go over to you, Kenny.
We lost, man.
Still kicking ass.
You can find me on social media at shooters_pod. I dropped the 50th episode last week, but on a bit of a hiatus here for the next number of weeks. If you guys want some hot gambling picks, though, 4 for 4 last night. Planning on doing it again with the NBA Finals Game 5. So stay on the lookout for that. And Ernest, thanks for having me on again, man.
Absolutely. That's right. You'll catch Kenny's Heat pick tomorrow. Andrew, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Andrew Kahn. You can find us on Facebook at the Boomtown Pod, all things MMA. Like I said, got a brand new co-host that's going to be on the show for good now. Solomon Campbell's going to be joining us. We're going to be doing some recaps. Got some pretty cool stuff in the pipeline with a couple of UFC fighters.
That's some exciting stuff. Really excited for your growth on your podcast and look forward to hearing it. Dre, sound off. Talk to the people where they can find you.
First question. Did you finally play my entrance video?
I absolutely did. Absolutely did.
Buddy.
All right. Well, first off, thanks for reminding me that our bullpen blowed today's game.
They really did. They really did. Sorry.
And now, thanks for that. But yeah, you can find me at Dre2124 on Twitter. Lots of wrestling, lots of Packers, and lots of making fun of Steve. So, yes.
That's perfect. By the way, you're now another suspect for the Steve Burner account, Dre, since today you popped off and then we got those 2 messages. So I
don't think I'm that smart.
Just Paul, bring us in as our BCMG sponsor and of course, friend of the show.
Yeah. So number one, whoever won the Madden copy last week, you actually have to contact me to get your free shit. Okay.
Oh, I completely forgot. My bad.
So tell me I gotta contact you. Okay, cool.
I'm just saying, I don't want messages from either of you two, especially after the Pittsburgh slander. But no, seriously, get a hold of me. Like, we're always doing these free giveaways. Right now, we're doing one with Will Laugh on Tour. We're giving away AirPods. So go check out his Instagram, follow it, get in that drawing as well. We're always doing more stuff. We're helping these guys grow. We're going to do something with Davis and the stream team here soon. Josh and his pod, Andrew and his pod, we giving something away. Frostbite's working on something. So we're trying to grow this, and it only helps us with you guys. So you can catch me at Steel Curtain PEH on Twitter. I put out 2 gambling articles every week, 1 college, 1 pro. We're 4-1 in the pro, and we're 5-0 in college. So hit that up on the weekends. Football funds on bluecollarmg.com.
Paul, I swear I'm working too.
Paul, you're on a heater right now.
Yep, he definitely is. And we are too here at Into the Lab. So thank you so much to all of our Labsters and all of our listeners for being a part of our show and helping us grow, being part of your weekly listening podcast schedule. Again, you can catch us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, any sort of streaming platform, you name it, we are on it. Listen to our episodes, support us by subscribing, support us by spreading the word about our podcast. We continue to grow streaming wise. Our views continue to skyrocket. So thank you guys so much for being a part of our family. You can find me at the Sport Gene. I am Ernest Silva, your favorite host. And with all the podcasts on here, we'd like to say thank you guys. Have a great night. Listen to the debate and go vote when it's time for you to vote. Have a great weekend and great night. And good luck to your picks this week, guys.
Yep. And my sign off is see you later.
Oh, yeah. Davis. Sorry, Davis. Davis, why don't you do your sign up? We're still live.
Go check me out on all platforms at ddog_1123. Like I said, I'm about to go live on Twitch here. So go watch me play Warzone.
That's it. That's why I left you for last, Davis. Hey, Davis, why don't you tell everybody what the flag means behind you, too? Forgot to include that.
Oh, yeah. So, does anyone know what this means?
Yeah, that's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Definitely doesn't mean win.
Taking some big fat L's this week.
Nobody knows. I told you, Davis.
Looks like a W. It's for the Cubs.
Yeah.
That they didn't get against the Marlins.
They didn't get it.
I should probably take it down.
Right.
Yes, you should.
You're right.
Yes, you should. Fuck the Cubs.
Hey.
All right, guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for a great episode. You guys have a great rest of the weekend.
Later, boys.
See ya.